I'm going to give it a few minutes. Good morning, everybody. Diego Martinez, Waking Up California. God, what do we got going on, right? Where have we been in the last couple of years? What has happened here to us from 2019, right? 2020, we heard about COVID. We have gone a long way since then. Mandates. God, we've been crazy on mandates. Gas prices have been through the roof. Employment is at its lowest. Our border problems, water problems, our government problem. The price of everything has gone skyrocket compared to what it used to be. Gas pipelines have been getting shut down in the United States, yet we're begging other countries for gas, for crude oil. Yet nobody ever thinks about how that crude oil makes it from Saudi Arabia all the way to the United States, because it doesn't fly here. I don't believe that we have a pipeline built, so you got to put them in a big boat. What happens if that boat goes down in the ocean on its way here? Has the environment not thought about that? Is that more hazardous to our environment than actually offshore drilling in the state of California? What's more efficient for us here in the state of California? Let's talk a little bit about employment. We have noticed that our unemployment rates have still been skyrocket, the highest out of anybody. I'm also going to talk to a lot of you guys who are landlords who have not been paid for the last year and a half from your tenants. There's actually a program out that will help you get your money and recuperate what you have lost over the couple of years. We will talk about that here in a little bit. I'm going to share you guys a quick story here. So I went to last Saturday, I went to McDonald's with my son. We stopped by and my son's all, hey, let's go get some breakfast. I'm like, yeah, why not? I had a trailer, so I had to actually park. I couldn't really pull through a drive-thru. I wish I could have, because it would have been a lot easier. And it's been probably a couple of years since I've been actually inside of a McDonald's, and the only reason I go there is for breakfast anyways. But we get inside, and the young lady, I walk up to the counter to order, just like you normally do, and the young lady looks at me, and she's all, sir, can I help you? I said, yeah, I need an order. She said, no, sir. She's all, right behind you, those big things right there, you order there now. I said, what? She's all, yeah, you go to this machine, it looks like a big iPhone, and you put your order in, and then you put your debit card in there, and they give you a number, and then they call you up for your food. I'm like, and this is normal. She's like, yeah, that's how we do it. So you want to get order, you got to go over there. There were about 4 people working in the whole McDonald's, and this is roughly about 7:30 in the morning. When they used to have 10 to 20 people working at McDonald's, they got 4. Now you go there, you put your little order in, and then they call you and they hand it to you. Kind of funny, because I'm sitting there going like, they got 5 of these things, 4 employees. That's what happened to minimum wage going through the roof. Our inflation is so high that employers are now trying to find corners or cutways of actually having to pay somebody's labor hour to be able to serve people, to maintain. So when we talk about minimum wage and minimum wage going up, we have to remember this. Yes, it sure sounds good if you're making minimum wage right now, because you're like, oh my God, I'm going to make 20, 30 more dollars an hour, whatever you're going to make on minimum wage. But the reality is minimum wage jobs were a beginner's job. That was a job where kids got into the workforce and learned how to work, learn how to build something. Now it's becoming a way of living. As I'm leaving McDonald's on Saturday, it said we are now hiring for $17 an hour. God, I remember working, when I first started working, it was $3.75 an hour. And McDonald's was a startup job. Unless you were the manager, you actually went there, you worked, and you moved on to something better, right? We pushed for something better. Right now, when you're looking at $17, $18 an hour, now we're trying to make a living out of working at McDonald's, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, and the fast food restaurants. But that's not even the problem. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those jobs. What I'm trying to say is that those are where it hurts us the most. Because I also remember a cheeseburger, 55 cents, 25 cents for a cheeseburger. Remember, we used to be able to go to McDonald's, get a hamburger for 25 cents, a cheeseburger for 30 cents. The same hamburger and cheeseburger are $5 now, $5, $6. When we raise minimum wage, we don't think about it because we think that we're helping that, but what we're doing is really hurting our economy because everything else skyrockets right behind it. And that's what's been going on. Go to McDonald's right now, try to feed yourself. You're not walking out of there for under $20. Go to Jack in the Box. It's the same thing. So what we've done by creating a higher minimum wage, we actually increased inflation and made us have to pay more, which makes our cost of living worse because the more you make, the more they tax you. So how do you solve this? There's two simple solutions. One, stop inflation. How do you do that? Stop going and trying to increase minimum wage and start decreasing the taxes that somebody pays so that they keep more money. They make less money, but they keep more money in their pocket instead of inflating the government and making the government richer. Keep the people of the state happier by having more of their money in their pocket, which you could keep the prices of everything down because you didn't inflate anything. You didn't take anything. And that's what happens when we keep raising minimum wage. Not only are we doing that, but we're also getting people to have machines do the job of humans. There's a lot of people on unemployment right now. There's a lot of places hiring. Why don't they want to? Because the government has shown you that if you were on unemployment, you made more money than working at your basic job. So now employers have to raise their level of minimum wages or their salaries to get people to work for them. Yet when they do that, they have to again, raise the cost of their services to be able to keep up with the demand and what their cost of doing business now becomes. We have seen that with gas. In 2020, we went on and we voted yes on increasing our taxes for gasoline. And that gave the governor a full discretion of how much or where he actually increased the taxes for our gas. Now we're paying $1 to $1.50 more than every other state for different reasons. One, the United States cutting down the pipelines. The oil pipelines cost us to have to import crude oil to make gasoline. So our cost now went up. State of California and their taxes have increased more than other states. Second, the third portion of all this, we do not do offshore drilling in the state of California. As I stated earlier, it's safer and cleaner to keep our own pipelines, to do offshore drilling in the state of California and create our own crude oil instead of going and getting it from Afghanistan or any other country that has to get shipped overseas and hope that they don't sink the ship. How much would that ruin our environment had that happen? We have got to look at better resources. Being the number one and the first clean air state isn't helping anything. 2024, when our small businesses, our gardeners, will be forced to replace their equipment with battery-operated lawnmowers, weed eaters, chainsaws, is that going to increase or decrease our businesses? Most likely it will decrease our businesses, and a lot of our landscapers will no longer be in business because they will not be able to have the means to actually upgrade their equipment. Not only that, they will not be able to charge their equipment to be able to go to work the next day and keep their employees employed because there is a cost to what you have to charge your batteries. So being the first clean air state isn't always the greatest. There has got to be a solution where there's a happy medium. I do believe in solar and I do believe in clear air, but I also do believe in fracking. I believe in oil. I believe in biofuel. That is our future. I believe that there's room for everything here if it's managed properly. But it goes back to that. Our congressmen, our senators, our assemblymen, and our governor are not managing our resources or managing our state to its fullest of what it can be. And those are the problems that we're having today, and that's why we are where we are. Our forests have been miskept, mismanaged for a long time. I had the pleasure of talking to a young lady last Friday who is an environmentalist, and I appreciated her point of view. We talked about the water, we talked about the spotted owl, we talked about our forests. One thing that we did come in common with was our forests need management. The underground brush needs to be cleared out. Some of the dead trees need to be cleared out. It needs to be thinned out so it can grow and it can create better environment for all of us. Well, How do you do that? You have to bring the lumber industry back to the state of California to where we can open up not only jobs, but a better forest and manage our forests better so that wildfires don't destroy what they're doing right now. We think about the new gas factory in Sacramento, gas made from sugar, and now a new hydrofuel coming soon. Is the governor doing all this, or is he just sitting back like nothing is wrong and letting the administration have all the power? My solar provider sent an email stating the government is imposing restrictions to new solar customers. Utility companies are losing money. He is trying his best to fix all. It makes all. All right, so let's go from one to another. I believe that if we can turn biofuel, sugar, or anything into fuel and keep it here in California, I think it's a great idea. I think more businesses in our state will provide more jobs, so I'm 100% for it. Hydrofuel coming soon. I can't wait because we need different ways of keeping our energy and our stability going. So I am 100% with that. Contradicting this defeats the purpose of going clean. Is also it does, and we'll talk about that here a little bit. Our governor right now, actually, if you guys saw the recall, he owes a lot of favors. $280 million that he spent on advertisement and the things that are going on wasn't free. It's at a price, and people are having to pay that price now. As we speak, the governor's doing favors and actually passing laws for his special interest groups that have actually supported him to stay in office. So that's where you see a lot of that going on. So the governor is actually signing legislation right now, I think, on his best beliefs of his investors more than on the California people. So we need to get a hold on that and see what we got going on. No sound again. Let's try this again. Sorry, guys. Your sound went off. Always does on Instagram for some reason. Let's see. Is that better? Can you guys hear me now? I know the guys on Facebook can hear me. How about here? No audio. Okay, I'm going to log out and log back in. Let me see. Be right back. For some reason, sometimes when we get going on Instagram, they censor me and my sound goes off. So I'm going to try to log right back into Instagram right now and see if we can do this. Facebook usually doesn't do it, but Instagram does. They'll censor me on what's going on. So we're coming back on Instagram right now. For some reason, any week that we start talking about what is going on and things are going, they censor. So we're back on here in Instagram. Hopefully you guys could hear me now. Sorry about that. Must have said something that they didn't like. So they take down my audio. It happens very common these days with them. So we were talking a little bit about Gavin Newsom and having to pay back some of the debt or some of the favors for the contributions that he got. So that's why a lot of the laws are passing. All of a sudden, we're going into 2024, taking away all our small generators or small gas weed eaters, lawnmowers, and they're going to make them go to battery. Why did that all of a sudden come across? And it didn't come across till after the recall. We could talk about SB 339, which is what is going to hurt all of us. And I'm going to tie that into the gas hike on what's going on with the gas and the hike in gas right now, because guess what? With SB 339, and they're charging you per mile that we're driving. Now, what they have justified that under is because your taxes are so high on gas, we're trying to find a different way to do this. They call it a prototype program. They call that right now till 2027. So what it is it's going to start in 2023 where they're going to start taxing you per mile that you drive up to 2027, where they either got to keep the program or reduce the taxes on your gas. Well, if we know where we're headed, there's really not going to be much gas. They don't want no more new gas vehicles built in the state of California in 2035. So where do you think this is going to go? Somebody said, well, that's so the electric car people pay their fair share. Well, that's fine. If I drive a Tesla or a Prius and I don't get gas and you want to tax me, that's great. But why does the person like myself that actually pays extra at the gas pump like anybody else, then I still get taxed per mile? So I'm getting double taxed when somebody with, and I'm not knocking electric cars. Somebody with an electric car only gets taxed once, and this tax came because of them. How does that sound fair to the rest of us? It's really not. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about COVID-19 and what's going on. I don't know how many of you guys still have mandates at work these days that are mandating you to get vaccinations or to wear a mask when you go to work or even be tested to keep your employment. A lot of this has died down in the last few months. So maybe I'm not kept up. Senator Green filed impeachment on Biden for helping his son in China's business for batteries. I'd like to see that happen. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, they filed impeachment for Trump for sneezing the wrong way, and they got it passed. So let's see what happens. It's very interesting that somebody impeachment, and there is impeachment. That is something for impeachment because he's using his authority or his office to be able to secure a better job for his family, right? So we'll see if that happens with Biden. We'll keep an eye on that and kind of keep everybody updated because I'm tired of using masks. Yep, that's what I really wanted you to talk about because I'm tired of wearing, using nose masks. So I'm in an area and I'm blessed because we don't wear masks. I see people wearing masks like when I go into their stores or something, the employees have to wear masks, but most of us aren't wearing masks. I don't wear a mask. I'm not sure what every county is. I know I've been in counties like a couple Thursdays ago, I had to go into Costco. I'll share the story. It was kind of funny to me. I walk into Costco and the gentleman at the door says, sir, can I give you a mask? Can I assist you with a mask? And 2 seconds went by and I'm like, man, I really need these tables. I'm late as it is. If I don't wear a mask, I'm not going to be allowed in here and I got to leave. Put the damn mask on, Diego. Don't make a scene. Put the damn mask on. Get your stuff. Get the heck out of here, right? So I'm already late. I'm already in a hurry. I walk in there. I let the guy give me a mask. I put it on. I don't care. Let's go. In and out. That's a choice that I made. I want everybody to understand that. That's a choice that I made to shop there. I could have made a different choice, but I didn't have time. I could have made a choice of not walking into that store and going somewhere else. But I paid my yearly membership for Costco. So, hey, I'm here. I know they got the tables. I got to get this and I got to get going. So I went and put the mask on. Got somebody to help me. Got what I needed. Got the hell out of there as quickly as I could till I got to the cashier. Something wrong with my card. I'm thinking like, man, did I forget to pay my membership, right? And I'm like, why does this always happen when you're in a hurry? So the young lady, the manager comes, says, hey, I need to talk to you when you get done here. Come over here to this register. So I walk over there and I said, yeah, what's going on? She said, well, we owe you $8. I'm like, really? You're going to hold me up all morning for $8? Then I said, can I ask you something about these stupid masks? She's all, yeah. She's all, what would have happened if I had just refused to wear it? She's all, we would have canceled your membership. We would have flat out canceled your membership. I said, what? She said, we have that right. It's a private business and they would have cut out your membership. Right now we'd be talking about your membership is now terminated at Costco. Then she started talking to me about their employees. They have to either be vaccinated or tested or they're not going to have their jobs. So took out my card and I said, this is who I am. I'm running for governor. And let me tell you something. The federal government, a federal judge has ruled that it's unconstitutional for them to do this. If you want some more information, come to my site. And you guys could actually get an exemption through religion or medical exemption so you don't have to be vaccinated. I went to the movies with my uncle a few weeks ago. The lady tried making me wear a mask. I take it and act like I was putting it on, and I threw it in the trash on the way through the theater room. And again, I haven't been to the movies because if I'm not going to sit through a movie with a mask on, I'd rather just watch it at home with the way technology is these days. And I really haven't supported a lot of movie actors because of what happened with the presidential election and them getting politically involved. I think actors should stay there and entertain us. And I really don't care about their political beliefs. I think they have the right to vote for whoever they want. But when you're in the spotlight, I think you also have the right to the audience of the people who actually pay for your wages and stuff to be able to stay there. So I haven't really supported a lot of people. Like Dwayne Johnson, I used to like The Rock. Now I really won't watch a lot of his stuff when he came out and supported Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because look where our country is at right now. Why do we still need a mask when we are fully vaccinated already? And that's a lot of places. A lot of places are saying this, that if you're vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. Yet they're not asking you for proof. I walked into a restaurant and it said, we highly encourage you to wear a mask if you're not vaccinated. I walked in, sat down, grabbed the chair, and we ate. Went to SoFi Stadium last week. They still require vax cards or negative tests within 72 hours. You know, private places can do that. I'd just rather not do business with them. I'd rather, and I haven't been to a ball game, and I used to be a big baseball fan. I'm a big Cardinals fan, but I haven't really been to a baseball game because I don't want to have to prove that I've been vaccinated, and I don't want to have to. I think the vaccination, and we could talk about that here in just a second. I've been to so many different places that they don't ask you for a mask or anything. That to me is kind of rare. When I walk in somewhere and they said, "Hey, sir, you don't have a mask on." I'm like, are people still doing that? I said, we've been through this 2 years and the masks haven't proved anything. Why are we still wearing a mask? Sir, I'm sorry, our store policies. I've walked out of places because I just refuse to put on a mask. That's my decision, my choice. Now, one thing that I said about the vaccinations, and I said this since day one, I'm not anti-vax. I don't want anybody to think that, oh my God, he's anti-vax, he's against vaccinations, because I'm not. What I believe is that you should have a freedom of choice. So there's a difference here, okay? Freedom of choice. You should have the choice to be vaccinated. You should have the choice to wear a mask. You're risking yourself whether you do or whether you don't. But you are an adult and you should have that right to choose which way you go with this, right? The same way we should choose if our children wear a mask to school or whether they don't. We're the adults. We're taking that responsibility. It's the same thing with us with our vaccinations and our shots. I don't believe in getting vaccinated unless it's going to help me with something. But when doctors have told me flat out, it's not going to prevent you from getting COVID. It's not going to do anything other than increase your immune system, which might create some different problems that you don't know about because your immune system's already trying to fight something else. Now it's trying to fight something that you put in your body. Doesn't work for me. That being said, for those of you who felt that you had to take the vaccination to keep your job, I respect your decision because I don't know your finances. I don't know what your lively and everyday is. So for somebody to sit here and say, don't do it, quit your job, that's stupidity because you as an individual have the choice to take care of your family. You have the right to be able to provide the best that you can for your family. And if it means that you have to make that choice, whether A, you take a vaccination or you lose your job, that's a choice that you and your family need to make and sit down and think about it hard. No, I'm not saying go take the vaccination, but I'm not telling you not to. What I'm telling you is to make the right choice for you and your family. Don't quit your job out of principle. Think about what you're doing because it's not only you, but it's your family's life in effect. I don't really know how things work in the United States because I'm in London, but the whole face mask thing is kind of annoying. It's extremely annoying. When you go from a county like the ones to a town or a county that makes you and forces you to wear a face mask, God, it's one of the most annoying things that I've had to deal with. I always keep a bandana in one of my cars with me to make sure that I'm always under where they want me to be at and protected over it because otherwise I won't go in the place. Masks will be weaken your immune system. 100%. I agree with you, Ralph. Masks do weaken your immune system. I think that you're just to take that call here in a little bit, but I want to finish this video before we do that. I don't know what's cooking, but I want some. Del Diego hooked. Anytime, anytime. I can't cook. So we're looking at. I don't believe that people should be wearing masks, but again, that's a choice. I believe in choice of what's going on. I want to say a little bit about COVID here, real quick. I know it's real. I'm actually waiting for an acquaintance of mine who's been battling COVID since November the 3rd. In a different country. He's stuck there because of COVID. Doctors there gave him kind of like the wrong medicine a couple times. And Jordan, it's time to wake up, buddy. Time to come out of this and live your life again through. And I know all this started through COVID because you went on a cruise and somehow or another you attacked COVID. And the doctor sedated you to make sure that you stayed in the hospital. But I think he's in somewhat of a coma right now. And I wish him the best of luck and the quickest recovery possible because it's all caused by COVID, which I think people overreact sometimes when they hear about COVID instead of trying to let your immune system and your body react to it. Also lost a friend this last month, Carlos, out of Sonora. Lost him to COVID. Don't know if he had an undermine or an understudy phase of something else wrong with him, but great guy, knew him for a while. Also passed away in November from COVID. So I don't take COVID lightly, but I also don't believe that having an immune system, having a shot or a vaccination is going to prevent that from happening. I do feel for both of these gentlemen and their families. But we can't stop living. I also know 2 or 3 people that passed away from cancer, my aunt being one of them, this last year. Yeah, cancer takes a lot of us and a lot of our families and our friends. Yeah, we don't stop living. In a sense, I believe that COVID's the same way. We have got to continue living and living our lives for a better future. As citizens do to stay the fight against the stupid gas tax. I'm a carpenter by trade and travel for work like a mug. So this is going to affect me. The gas tax, what we got to do is appeal it. So we got to get somebody to get on board and appeal and get it put back on legislation so we can actually vote on it again, so we can get that repealed and get it off legislation. Or we just change governors and get a governor in there that actually lowers the taxes instead of increases, because it's his right to do that, and start helping people live better. So it comes to the choices that we made on our legislation and our people who are running the state in this country. That's where it's all comes down to. $90 to fill up my tank. Man, don't I know that? It cost me $137 to fill up my diesel the other day. I kind of posted it online, and it's crazy because since then the prices have gone up. So we have got just to unite as Californians for a better future all the way around. We have got to stop worrying about our party lines and start worrying about who's the best person for the job. Forget about fame. Because sometimes we vote for, oh my God, that person actually has a better chance of winning, and guess what? They don't. And we throw all our resources, instead of throwing our resources for somebody who's better for California and getting their name out and getting their exposure out and putting pressure on the parties to support the right person. Who do we even have? Anybody who's on board with us? Is there currently anyone that stands with us? Terry, the answer is no. I had Tom McClintock on the phone. He wouldn't let me on to ask any of those questions. But as a Republican in the Republican Party, the answer is no, we don't. So we need a clean house in 2022 and actually get the right people that actually are running for office and hold the people who we elect hold their feet to the fire and make them do what they said they did, or it'd be a one term only and get them the heck out of there and get the right person. This is going to be a trial and error because we're going to just have to keep voting the right people in. And this is both parties, okay? Forget about the party lines because both parties have failed the California people. It's time that we stand as Californians and for the California people, and that's what I'm running on, for the California people. I don't care your party. You want to say that I'm a Republican, you can say whatever you want as long as you listen. And if we align on our ideologies and what we believe in, forget about your party lines because we are just human beings. It doesn't matter if I said I was a Democrat right now. My parties and what I believe in stand the same. A party is just a team. That's all it is. And guess what? Both teams have failed the California people, so it's time that we start running as Californians. I have been going to the VA, and I have met 3 other vets that now have blood clots with... Yeah, a lot of people are saying they're getting blood clots because of the vaccination and things like that, so we got to watch. You know, voter integrity, we could talk about voter integrity all the time, but until we make changes, it's not going to change. We can go and keep trying to do lawsuits. We can keep doing this. We could do doing that. What we need to do is start talking to our neighbors, start talking to the libertarians, start talking to the Democrats, start talking to the people who are not happy in California. Voter integrity will take care of itself if we get the right people to vote. We can't keep calling about voter integrity when we have 22 million registered voters in the state of California and only 11 million voted. The problem is we didn't get enough people out there to vote. We have got to start concentrating on getting people out there to vote. Guys, I know this is kind of like a short video today, but I have another appointment I have to go to. I wanted to come in and do a good Waking Up California show. We're still in the running. We're still going. We're going hard. We're going to see you guys next week. I'm going to be up and down California at different events. We're going to start posting those. December's here, so we're back on the campaign trail, and we're going hard now. Any of you want to donate to my campaign, please do so at DiegoMartinezforGovernor.com. Hit the donate button. It all goes straight to my treasurer who takes care of all my campaign accounts. I don't see the money per se in hand, but we do see it when we need to use it for campaign things, and that's all that money goes for. So I appreciate all your support. I will gladly see you guys next week on Waking Up California with Diego Martinez, candidate for governor in 2022. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.